family of the Most High Yah, children of the called, the chosen. Come on again to address the body of the Most High Yah in the matters of the things that pertain to us who are the elect. I'm not going to take a lot of time. What I do want to address right away is men and their decision making, just the position that we continually put the daughters of Zion in, because we have not yet mastered the flesh. Now, this situation that I'm referring to, it's a shame. And brother, you need to be ashamed of yourself, because as old as you are and as much wisdom that goes forth from this ministry pertaining to how to treat the daughters of Zion, there's no way you make a decision like you made. So let me bring you all up to speed, in terms of what we're talking about. We're talking about, the whole purpose of why we as heads and leaders in this particular tribe, this ministry, we do it the way we do it. We find that there's so much kickback, because everybody, and it's due to pride, especially in men, but everybody finds that they have a better way of doing it when it comes down to what you would so-call dating in the world. See, here it's not about dating. It's about whether or not if you're going to decide to be a covering, be a blessing, be a man who provides rightfully in this ministry, and it puts us in position to no longer make whores of the daughters of Zion. And not only that, but removing the stumbling blocks, because see, a lot of times we find that sisters have gone through enough in their lives, and we have men who are only considerate of themselves, and a lot of times you find men will want something temporarily and they want it right away, and then when they're done they throw it away. and a lot of men do that, and we have a generation that was before us. A lot of men, like my father, they wasn't there. They laid and took the honey but didn't want to pay the money. And so, here we have it. When it comes to the faith of the Most High Yah, you would expect that a lot of men would adhere to the word enough to understand that I don't want to put a sister in a bad spot. I don't want to put a sister in a bind because of my own lust or my own indecisiveness. And so this is what we have. I have a sister here at Straightway, Kansas City, who had been talking to a brother in the ministry, because he asked me about being betrothed to this sister. And I sat down at the feast and said, yeah, let's be betrothed, but we're going to talk, as this time goes on. But the reason why we move forward in the betrothal is because you had already reached out to her long before you got to me. And that's it, sisters. That's the whole thing when you see people going backwards. See, the number one reason why we want the men to reach out to us, one, a lot of you sisters, you don't have a father in your life. You don't have a father figure, or you've been through enough with, ex-husbands and ex-husbands and ex-husbands and boyfriends. And so obviously your decision making is not the best either. And so what it allows us to do is assess the situation in terms of, being a accountability where we talk to the brother, we analyze the situation. We want to make sure that he's in position to provide. We want to make sure that this brother is of good standing, good character, and that, you know, he is going to do those things which he say he's going to do, because after all, he is going to be a provider for you, right? And likewise, we want to make sure that with, you know, these sisters, that they are who they say they are, that they are not, you know, saying that they're ready to be given in marriage, but none of the situation that they have attached to them doesn't match up. And so it gives us a barrier to work through. And then when we move to the betrothal stage, then it allows us to now continue to analyze the situation and the character of both parties coming together, so that we know that we have good unions according to the word of the Most High Yah. But see, let me tell you what's happening, and y'all listen to me really good. See, if you like this man who called me, said he wanted to be with this sister, and then he turns around and he texts me and say he want to talk. Well, I already knew what he was texting me about, because he had already told me, you know, some of the things that had already began to transpire. But the final draw was that he talked to me. Now, you already betrothed to this woman, and you said you realize now that your finances is not ever going to make it to the point where you're going to be able to take her on as a wife. Well, see, the sorry excuse that we're getting, the bull crap that's associated with this is that you knew what your situation was prior to asking for this woman to prepare herself to be your wife. You knew that. You did. And so the problem that I have is that now I talked to her, is that, guess what? She says she's always, her whole entire life, when it comes to men, she's always being rejected. Now, she hadn't had any problems. She hadn't been dealing with now, the things that we see as this, where her spirit is beginning to make a shift. You know, all of these past hurts and all of these other things, now they are resurfacing. And not only that, but if, you know, a woman was preparing herself to be with a man, then quite naturally, there's some thought that began to develop about sexual relations and activity. And now, all of a sudden, wham, you don't have enough money. So those things are gone. Now, that's a stumbling block. You sit before this daughter of Zion. And I pray that the Most High Yah deal with you and men like you and other men who are going to do the same thing like you did. And it's a shame. It is a shame for a man to not know what it is. This is why you're constantly hearing it preached on the proper ways to go about this. You know, these things I talk to my boys about. Don't you touch a woman. Don't you even be concerned. Don't you even act like you want to be involved in this sister's life if you're not prepared to do the things that come along with it. There's not even a need to get this woman hopes up concerning coming into your house if you're not ready. This gentleman, this man knew he wasn't ready from the jump. And I'm being nice about it. You know, I've already been angry. And so Israel, I'm just want to relay the message to you all in the proper manner, you know, and really get you all to understand, especially you sisters, do not move in any type of conversation. Do not be tricked. Do not be carried off. Do not be drugged off by certain men who crept in, because you are laden with sin. I'm saying it again, because guess what? I watch it happen over and over and over and over with sisters. Not just here where I'm seeing it. I mean, I'm just watching it as a whole in Israel. And in fact, in Israel, where there is no boundaries set for men and women and guidelines set for men and women, they bring in the same old worldly lust, and you start to see the same ridiculous things that took place in the world. They are happening in Israel as a whole, because men are prideful. These men are filled with some type of demonic spirits that causes them to belittle women, belittle the situation that women should be put in according to the Most High Yah, and they take those things for granted. And so you see where we're killing sisters. We have mores that I've heard of. They're causing two sisters to get into bed and lie down with each other, for their own enjoyment and entertainment. And then you have brothers like this who, you don't have the means. You know that you're not ready. But you think about this after the fact, after you have already gotten this sister together. And I don't know what the conversations that you all truly had. I'm only going by what is said, but I can only imagine that you have fed this sister with all sorts of dreamy and fantasies that she's going to be married and she's going to be in your house and you're going to do this for her and you're going to do that for her. I can only imagine what has been said, period, among men that go behind the back of the leaders to get at these sisters. So I'm warning you, brother, I'm if it's up to me, you don't get out of this. You don't get out of this. You take this sister on, and next time you learn your lesson. You evaluate what it takes. And I'm saying this to all you men. Evaluate what it takes to bring a daughter of Zion into your house. Because after all, a virtuous woman is precious to the Most High. She should be precious to you. The Most High Yah desires that we have a helpmeet that is worthy of praise by us, because she does those things which we desires and shows well and prove well in your house, that your house has a good name. Because if your wife and your children be in subjection, then guess what? It helps your house look apart. And that's what we should be building here in Israel. We should be building good, solid houses that's built on solid foundations. And so what you have is men and other people who come along like this, who don't have a solid foundation, but all they have is a word that gets these sisters going and get them believing in things that are not going to happen. And then the ones that's left in the situation and that's left in between the rock and the hard place is the community where these sisters are, and the sisters themselves, because now they got to deal with themselves, and now the leaders and the people that are around them got to watch for their spiritual well-being, because some of these sisters, they've dealt with lust so horribly in the past way of living that they have participated in, and coming into the way, those hurts are hidden deep down. They are condemned by those hurts. And it takes folks like you to come and wake those things up and cause a great stumbling for these sisters who end up in situations like this, and guess what? Ultimately, they end up falling away, and that's blood on your hands. So I hope I said something to stimulate thought, and you all be blessed. And sisters, watch yourselves. Watch yourself. These men are not willing to do it the way that we're telling you to do it. Do not give them the time of day, or else be warned that you may end up just like some of these other sisters who we're not giving heed to their situations because they did not receive the counsel when it came forth. Hey, be blessed. I'm Pastor Corey, the Straightway Ministries of Straightway, Kansas City. Shalom, shalom.